It was a chilly Halloween night. Charles Habakangas was staying in watching movies and tried to convince his 17-year-old sister Sarah to do the same. But the teen was set on going out with friends.
And she was all dressed in orange, so I said, all right, turn into a pumpkin. And that was the last I seen her.
Days later, Sarah's family got the news that destroyed their lives forever. Sarah's body was found in a wooded area off I-90 in North Bend. Family said she'd been strangled to death.
I just can't imagine what she went through before she died. And it seems like it'd be the most horrible death. Especially for someone who hasn't lived and figured out that the world's not always a nice place.
I first learned about Sarah's case while going through this deck of cold case cards from the King County Sheriff's Department. They used to pass them out in hopes of sparking new tips. I noticed two other cards describing cases that seemed similar to Sarah's. All three teenage girls were last seen in the same general area, all found in remote wooded areas in North Bend near the highway. Back then, the similarities weren't lost on detectives. The first murder was that of 14-year-old Heather Kinchin, whose remains were found on the 4th of July in 1991, about 2 months after she went missing from Seattle. 17-year-old Sarah was found 4 months later. A year passed and another girl is found dead. Like Sarah, the Seattle Times reported in '92 that 19-year-old Nicole French had also been strangled.
I remember hearing and knowing that there were the similarities and that they had been friends.
Investigators later found that Nicole and Sarah actually knew each other, making loved ones wonder even more if their cases were connected. At the time, many wondered if the three murders could be the work of the Green River Killer, who back then was still unidentified.
People can't imagine collecting, I want to say, scores and scores of dead bodies, and that was your job.
Former King County Sheriff Dave Riker led the Green River Killer investigation during the 1980s as the body count of young women and teens soared, ultimately getting to a confirmed number of 59. But investigators tell us all these years later, there is nothing linking the murders of Heather, Sarah, and Nicole to the Green River Killer. So we asked Riker, could there have been other serial killers out there? He says it's possible.
What surprised all of us, I think, is that there were so many suspects on our list who fit the profile of the person who was described to us by profilers as, being able to commit a crime like this.
I just can't imagine a monster that would do that to some 17-year-old girl.
Today, Charles worries his sister has been forgotten.
She never got a chance to grow up. She was still just figuring out what was out there, just figuring out the world.
He wonders if he'll ever have answers.
But I think about her every day, no matter what.
Olivia LaVoice, Fox 13 News.